Hey there, AfterBuzzers. Welcome to the Magician's After Show. Today we're talking about episode 10, The Art of the Deal. We have Hades, we have war and fillery, we have decapitation, and we get some real talk and some mic drops. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Wait for it.
Savages.
Yes!
Guys, it's on Netflix. If you upload it on his face like I did the other day, totally available to you to watch.
And it's very appropriate for this episode, and if you don't get why we use this, you might need to rewatch the episode, but anyway, we're talking about Season 3, Episode 10, The Art of the Deal. My name is Kari Lane. I'm joined by my awesome co-host.
Hey, it's Joelle Monique.
What up, y'all? My name is Ty Matthews.
And this episode, oh my goodness, we get some blood and like craziness. What did you guys think of it?
Slavery is awful. Mm-hmm. And who knew I could like the Fairy Queen?
Right?
I've been hating her for so
it,
long. And then today I was like, damn it, she's a good queen.
I've been saying,
and she's been trying to warn us for so long.
I've been saying this whole time that I thought she was unequivocally evil. I'm so mad that she is a little bit, I don't know.
She has some goodness there.
Yeah.
I said she was trying to help the humans, and now I feel like we're not quite to the help she was trying to give them, but I see some things, especially with a lot of the information she dropped right at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah. And then I love that in this whole episode, there's a lot of real talk moments and super like, drop the mic.
Hashtag
like,
real talk.
Oh, so like the first thing we have Alice and Q, and they finally have kind of a relationship real talk. I was like, yes, we're finally talking our feelings. Like he finally says something, and I love her like, what, you're the only one who can be like depressed and moody? It's like, thank you.
See, I feel differently, because like, look, as selfish and self-centered as Q can be, like, he did not kill beings because it was fun to watch them die.
No.
Like, I feel like Q has a very strong point here. I almost never agree with Q. But here I was like, you know what, Q? You hold on to those instincts. I don't trust you either. You're holding secrets, being weird. And for you to not understand why everyone's having a problem trusting you means you're also being self-centered and unfocused.
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it's... Do we trust Alice? I mean, you kind of said your thoughts. Ty, what do you think?
Man.
Right?
I mean, yeah, at this point, I don't see why not. I think, yeah, it's hard to, like, it's easy to be wary around her and about her for sure, but I feel like anything that she did before she was, I guess, quote unquote, under the influence, you know, I think she can be a little bit prickly, but for good reason. So yeah, I trust her. I trust her with like a tiny asterisk.
I trust her enough, but I won't turn my back on her.
That's a good way to put it. That's a very good way to put it.
I'm like, I won't be like, no. And then we have, Julia comes in, and then we have Julia, like, kind of ask you, like, hey, I want to go do this thing. He's like, do your thing. He's like, whatever. He totally was like,
sure,
nonchalant. Julia and Finn have been such a fun, random pairing.
Yes. I love that Finn is such a Cali girl at heart. Like, you can picture, like, what Finn might have been if she grew, like, she would be a total princess if she, like, grew up here and, like, you know, was doing emojis. And she'd be like a social media diva. Like, I love this personality that is just bursting forth from her. And the fact that we get back to her knives this week with the emojis.
Yes.
Exactly, the dagger
universal
emoji.
language.
She's so excited. She's like, this is, universal language. It's true, though. It's pictures, hieroglyphics, you know, same idea. And there's such a great dynamic fighting and / helping the Fae, because Julia's totally like, I want to help these people. It does seem like her powers, like, she feels better about having them when she does good things. Do you guys think so? Or
yeah, that's fair to say.
Because, like, she feels kind of shitty still having them in a way, but she said something at one point, like, doing good things, and she kind of feels okay having them, which she kind of says to the Fairy Queen later.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like it's, as our great general once said, take your broken heart and turn it into art. You know, Carrie Fisher had the right idea, and I feel like that's kind of what she was really broken and had, like, went through just awful things. And so to see her get excited about helping people and then it's like so brazen and ballsy, like this week especially, it's, you know, it does your heart good.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's great for her, because that kind of, I don't think it's gonna nothing will quote unquote fix her, but it's one of those, it will help heal her, I think, doing good things. We do have a live chat going on if anybody sees us looking over. If you are watching this live, thank you very much for joining us. If you're watching later, comment down below your thoughts on the episode. Okay, and then they have, we get our confrontation with Irene at first, like, so fairies and these necklaces. And she's like, oh, that's cute. Collars. How much were y'all, like, squirming in your chair? Right?
It just kept getting worse and worse.
Yes.
Irene can die.
Yeah.
Which I felt pretty early into discovering that she was keeping anything enslaved, and now the idea of not only like is she hacking them apart slowly for her own magical benefit, but on top of that, like the total disregard they have for them as like living beings. Just anytime I see that, it's just
Yep. Yes. Oh, it's you're just like, wait, what? Like, yeah. I'm like, there's no real good comparison. It's just
That's what I was trying to think of something too, but honestly,
I mean,
it's like,
people feel bad of like killing animals, and it's like this is above that. You can talk with them.
It's
no, but that's
and
how
to see how like defeated and just kind of
they're so broken.
shuffly they are. You know, there's no like they're not living for themselves, and so that's really awful. But I did enjoy Finn's like just I don't like any of you. Just so all of you know, screw every last one of you.
Well, she points out they're different.
And that's
Later.
that was something that I had never really realized before, is that there is kind of like the scale of these are just sort of these like innocent fairies that haven't really done anything.
Yeah. Well, because they grew up in very different situations.
Right,
that
exactly.
reveal later was great of the like by dust of we sacrificed to get them out, and then she's like, no, it did matter. And you're like, oh.
Right.
But I hate you for doing that to your people, Dust. Come on.
Right.
I mean, to me, if a few of us sacrificed ourselves, sounds like nobody did anything to anybody. But a small group of them said, you know what? Screw it. We'll live out the rest of our days in solitude so that these people can get away. Yeah. And the ability for the queen to be able to let Dust know, like, your sacrifice meant something. Like, this wasn't in vain. All of this isn't pain and awful. Like, there is a thriving kingdom of fairies right now, and that's thanks to your sacrifice. I think was really important, and I think coming from a people that was once enslaved, like, it's kind of cool to be able to thank your ancestors, like, because of all that you went through, I'm able to survive and thrive. It was kind of a beautiful, poignant moment.
Oh yeah. No, this episode, like, we touched upon it a little bit last week. This one really drove some of those metaphors home in a great way, and just a testament to the writers. We meet creepy Uncle Edwin. We hear about him, and then we meet him.
I'm glad he died fast. Usually I'm like, we could have used like 8 more episodes of evil characters. But this guy, I was like, kill him now.
Right.
And shout out to the actor from he's from Battlestar Galactica. If you guys, he plays I think he's the EXO. It's been a while since I watched it, but. And it's funny because the show's made Battlestar Galactica references, and now you have an actor from Battlestar.
I'm sure the writers were geeked. They were
they
like,
were
what?
so
Absolutely.
Yes. A couple people we touched upon a little bit, but I like how the chat's pointing out Fen is really becoming a fleshed out character now. It's been so nice because at the beginning she was a little more like, just kind of there.
Sure.
But now it's like.
She's like Fen and Penny have really come a long way in just this season as becoming people, having their own quest, getting away from that same circle of people they're always around.
Right.
It's nice to see like who they are. I just want Fen to have her Wonder Woman moment with ice cream. Like this
ice cream?
Yeah. Remember, so Wonder Woman tastes ice cream for the first time.
Oh,
and it's like a deal for her.
Yeah.
Like I would like Fen to have her ice cream moment. Like I just
and it's such a big part of the show for everyone to kind of come to grips with either something they've lost or this immense pain that they deal with. Pain is such an important theme to the show, and I feel like these sort of dimensions and this kind of fleshing out of Fen has really come sort of synonymously with the pain that she went through and the grief that she went through, and not only just like holding a grudge, but being able to look past that.
We're also seeing her go through her stages of grief. So
Right.
we had, she's
had depression.
Denial, depression.
She didn't really bargain. Well, she already bargained, I guess, at the beginning.
Yeah, and the bargain was kind of made for her, so I'm intrigued by the fact that bargain was taken out of her hands. And now we're seeing anger. Yeah. And I really appreciate the aggressive, like, especially when she walks right to the Fairy Queen. She's like, do you know how much you've taken from me? Do you really think that there's anything you could do at this point? Anything else you could take from me? You couldn't. I could lose teeth and I would not care. I was like, this is a fan I've been waiting for.
Is she sort of the first one to just kind of not even flinch at one of the Fairy Queen's threats?
The Fairy Queen looked almost proud, didn't
Right?
she?
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, girl. All right.
You're standing up for yourself.
You
That's
have
what she
two
seems to have wanted for a
sentences.
while. Yes. I liked later when you were saying Penny, so I was gonna say back to when Penny, we get him not giving a fuck, doing the bookshelving, like not caring. I agree with him. I got all the time in the world.
Exactly,
like,
right.
I would do it as horribly as possible because you got
I mean, the
time.
fact that he's even restocking shelves is amazing to me. Because if I had 1 billion years, I'm like, I'm gonna sleep for the first couple thousand. Like,
I was wondering
I just
that.
don't
Like,
want to deal.
do the librarians would they make you do it?
It
Like
seems
you're
like
stuck
if you're
there.
in their presence, you're kind of doing the thing, and you might, out of sheer. I don't know if you guys have ever been had like a bad summer job or had to work at like a family's place, but like a lot of times you'll be like, I don't even care, and then you're like, I have to do something.
Right.
Give me something to stock the books. Great, anything to get my mind off.
Right,
of it.
exactly.
Yeah. But would you guys want to join book club with Howard?
Not initially.
Come on, Penny,
I
join
don't
book
know.
club.
I mean, I guess, yeah, given their history,
Yeah.
it makes sense that Penny would not be crazy about it.
No, wait,
And
I
he
can't
just doesn't
remember-
seem like the book club type anyway.
Yeah.
Ty, do you remember how Howard comes into the picture? Because I do not. I don't remember the exchange between Penny and Howard.
Well, he before worked at the library, and I don't think there was much interaction between them. But Penny had a poisonous book,
Right.
or he had something special. Howard hit the seal, like the shutdown thing, and like
Right.
hit his own face into something and killed himself to prevent the books getting out.
That's right.
Okay.
There
Yeah.
you go. There you
Yes.
Christian P. Howard says, Christina P. says,
Yeah.
Howard was not very convincing. Who would want to join a book club on a whim? Now look, if you met like a half dope person who was like, look, I've got great books. I mean, I don't know. I critique things for life, but for me, I'd be like, hell yeah. What time are we meeting? But for Penny, the antisocial, lovable
Yep.
oaf,
Yep.
you have to come with a much stronger pitch than, oh, hey, remember when you killed me?
go. Yeah.
You should join my book club.
So let's talk about books.
Ugh.
Nehemiah was pointing out he didn't recognize the actor from Battlestar. Also, he doesn't have a mustache, so I was like, wait, haha, that's him.
Sure.
But yeah, with Penny and Howard was an interesting character. Also, he had such a great line. Do you want me to join book club because I'm brown? And then he's like, I'm in shackles too. And we're like, oh, this writing is so good and awkward. He's like, this does not look good. It's like, Howard's like, no, we shackle people of all colors.
Right. No, I love that dynamic between the two of them and just like how genuine and earnest Howard is.
Yeah. He's kind of like Tick. He's like, yeah, this is what it is. Like,
Right.
Which is why we should be suspect of Howard.
this is true.
I know. I was
Super
so
true.
mad. I was so mad I wasn't
Yeah.
here last week to be able to talk with Rizwan about how much he foreshadowed
He sure
that
did.
Yeah.
turn the first time he was on the show.
Good
Because he
point.
told us from day one that he was plotting.
Ah.
From day one when he was in the studio.
That's a good point. Ryoko in the chat says, also, I wonder if book club will be significant for Haiti because Hazy's recommended it. That's true.
I feel like all the book club is going to
And
be
the
suspect.
cupcake was
And
suspicious too.
there's something up with that cupcake.
Look,
Eat
guys,
the cupcake.
We've been in the magician's world long enough to know that when you consume something, it's going to have an effect.
Yes.
While you're just, I mean, that cupcake
Right.
did look delicious.
A cupcake
so-
is never just a
But
cupcake.
is it like a sedative and going to make him docile or going to make him
No,
happy?
I think it's
I
something
thought it was
good.
going to make him happy.
Look, Hades says right before he goes in, he's like, look, I've never met anybody who's trying to run away from their destiny and also bringing themselves closer. Which I was like, what is he doing? What is
Right.
his end destiny? But pushing him into the book club seems like a great way to be like, okay, you're probably going to be reading about a bunch of people's life stories, right? We're on this key quest. We're down to 2 keys now that we know where the fairy key is, right? Yeah. So I just feel like there's definitely something brewing here. I'm curious to start getting into these stories. I would like to read the greatest romance ever.
Yeah. Oh, Gil and
Yeah.
who was it?
I can't remember the names.
Was it Sharon?
What was it?
It was like really
It was
random.
Gil and Stacy. Was
There
that
it
what-
is.
Yeah, that's
like
what
really
it was.
random,
Yeah.
down to earth names where you're like,
Yes.
this is it?
Then we have Sylvia, and we learn there was a bounty on him to get her time shorter, which you're like, yes, but no.
Right,
Of
right,
that
right.
making
Yeah,
it
but-
better.
Yeah.
And then we kind of get more clarification, which I like, that the world building, that the underworld is just kind of temporary, and then you move on somewhere else with the Metro card.
The Metro card, of course.
And a pig. I was like, what?
And then you get in the pig.
Yeah, she's like, what?
And why a pig? Does it fly? I have a
Ooh,
lot of
creepy.
questions. Does
Ryoko
it
just
eat
says,
the card?
isn't there a thing that if you eat the fruit of the underworld, it binds you there? Oh, and Christian P says, good point, forgot about that. Creepy.
Well, Christian P is referring to Tisma, who is...
Oh, the edibles.
Yeah, referring to the edibles.
Yes, okay.
To Josh. Interesting.
I don't know. It's a good question. Then we have, I was going to say, we'll continue with Penny, though. I had other good stuff. So when we have, also, was there another thing with Penny? No. Okay, Penny, and we meet Hades. Who was surprised it was Hades?
I wasn't expecting it.
Oh, yeah, definitely not.
Like,
and Hades looks good as hell. Like,
Yeah.
what?
I like that casting choice. I was like, oh, hello.
I don't know. I knew it was
good
going to be...
voice, too.
Yeah. I knew it was going to be someone important. I don't think I realized it was going to be someone that important, you know?
Well, it is the, I guess it's technically the underworld, so it makes sense. But it is one of those, like, what?
It's interesting that Hades...
Oh, yeah, the secrets taken to the grave room. Yes.
Oh, man, yeah.
What?
Your confession time.
I'm trying to, like, in that, I'm trying to, like, what is there something I've never told anyone about that would get me to break down? Like, what kind of things are they probing for in there? This is a conversation I would be like, I don't want this. Like, I'll stay in this whatever, like, imbalanced, crazy world forever. It's really not that big of a deal.
And how they dressed Hades. I like. He looked very sharp.
Oh, God, yes, of course.
So let's talk about this. So
Yes,
we
Hades.
met, he is the third or fourth god? We've met more than that. So we met the party god. We met
Bacchus.
Persephone.
Persephone. Now Hades.
Yeah. Was Renard a god?
Renard's a
Trickster
demigod.
god.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I thought he was a full god.
Is he full god? Okay.
His son's a demigod.
There we go.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So he's a trickster god. And we're also meeting gods of various faiths, which
Right.
is cool.
Sure.
Totally.
As well as the magic, which I mean, we touched on before, but I've been noticing more, like, because we watch it with subtitles, or at least I do. It makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
But it'll be like speaking Hebrew or speaking another language. And I'm like, that's cool.
We've heard, the spells that Julie and Katie do, like, we've heard them use a mix of both Latin and Hebrew before.
A lot, yeah.
That's super interesting.
So, being that this is our fifth or sixth god, it's interesting to compare to the other gods who come before, because Persephone is like, like they're on the same level if you think about Greek gods. Persephone and Hades are, but Persephone felt godlike, if you know what I mean. Like the way she enters was very
Radiated.
ethereal,
Yeah.
and her
Yep.
facial structure is just like, oh my god,
Right.
like lovely lady. Whereas Hades felt like one of the guys, like.
Well, and he said so himself, just keeping a low
Low-key
profile.
man.
Yeah.
So it's also interesting to hear him say like, "Oh no, Magic's gonna be back."
Yeah.
Like, you know, tomorrow, a billion years from now, y'all are almost extinct. None of that matters anymore. Like, you have a whole new life now. It felt plotty to me. Like he's plotting something.
Oh, like he's plotting. I see.
Yeah. Now what? I don't know. But
Well,
Magic's got to be janking up his deal.
Do we think,
Right.
James in the chat made a good question, is Hades the guy in the chair at the secrets room? Well, James in the chat said chair at the end of the world, I think, but we had the room where it's like, oh, we didn't know what he looked like, he just had red eyes. So is Hades the one you confess your
I don't know, James.
secrets
Is
to?
that who you're referring to?
The room with the secrets? I want to go with that, because he could make sense that you would tell Hades your thoughts. Maybe.
I feel like it's
Or no.
multiple people doing.
Yeah, I feel like that's
trying
someone
to help
different.
Or is
sort
it like
them out.
American Gods, where depending on who you are, you get a different person that meets you?
See, I like that idea. I also thought it might be like Lovely Bones, where it's not as specific. You're just kind of like, you go to your heaven, whatever that means for you. So yeah, it's in the book has the end of the. We're not
good to
caught
know.
up on that.
We
book,
are
so I'm
not
so
up to
sorry.
date.
We can't answer
Yeah,
that
Yeah, this
question.
is just on the show.
Apologies.
I started reading the book a while ago, and then the show just kind of
Kind of veered
goes
off. I was
veered off a
wondering
bit, then I'm like,
how
I'm gonna
close they
slow
were
down.
at this point.
yeah.
But it's also interesting what Hades could have meant when he says that magic is a carrot that gods use to keep humans
Yes,
in check.
I wrote that quote down. I
Like,
love that.
That is very, very an interesting sentiment.
God.
It
not
explains
sure.
a lot why she was given her like some magic back to this kind of like one lone survivor after crazy things have happened.
Yep.
Like
Right.
Yep.
watching the humans kind of go mad has got to be entertaining.
Right.
Thank you. Leo's like, spoilers, James. Come on. Yeah. Well, the other quote, too, that life starts after death. That I'm like, I don't know if I trust him. Because then we also get more real talk of why Penny's possibly a loner when he was with his real mom in Savannah. And I was like, what?
Right.
Record scratch? What? Tell us more. And I have the question for you in the chat. Do you think Penny should stay in the underworld or try to regain contact with his friends?
I think, knowing what we know about everything, that Penny has to stay in the underworld for a brief time in order to help bring things together or bring something else to light.
Well, and I think it depends. Did we ever get a bead on how time in the underworld works relative to time on Earth?
I think it was just fillery. We had time is different in fillery.
So
I don't remember underworld.
So
no, it's slower.
Okay.
Because
anything
when
like
he
the
had his
library.
super cancer, it super killed him when he was on Earth, but he was in the library, it slowed it down. So
That's
library
right.
time is
And then
slower.
we saw the age difference between Mama Librarian and daughter.
Yes.
And Hades keeps stressing the fact that it's this massive library, and he's got all the time in the world.
Yeah, and he's like, there's lots of books.
Yeah.
Read that thing.
And so, like, is he just going to have to buckle down and just study his ass off for who knows how long before trying to hook back up with everyone?
I don't want him to not leave the group. I'm like, no, he's a part of the group, even though he keeps... the problem is he keeps pulling himself out of the group. It's like
that
he
you'll miss
desperately
me.
wants to be part of it. Yeah, exactly. He's like, I want you to miss me. It's like, Penny, use your words. Communicate with people.
Right.
But then there would be no show. But I think you're onto something that maybe he has the time that he needs to do research on.
Yeah, that's the whole
anything.
point of this book club is just like week after week after week after week of
Yes.
reading these stories.
Tids Moss says if Penny has all the time in the world, then it really should be okay for him to waste a few months with his friends.
That's true.
Yeah.
I wish Penny had thrown that in his face.
Leo says no, the time thing was in the library that was near the black hole. So underworld. Underworld
good
time
point,
could be different. We haven't we haven't had a specific correlation.
Right. I can't imagine that it's just straight up 1-to-1. 1 second in underworld
Yeah.
time means 1 second in real world time.
And I don't think it's sped up either.
Right.
I think it would be slow.
Right.
But I don't know what ratio it is.
Yeah. So who knows? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
I want Penny to go back, and I hope he learns something good in the books. And maybe he won't know it's good until he gets back.
Right.
Like reading The Greatest Romance. Maybe there's something in there that he'll be the random
It's like the
nerd
sex
that's like,
scene
I
gave us
know.
The sex scene gave us a tip a
Right.
couple episodes ago.
Yeah,
So.
exactly.
I just hope we don't run into
Ooh.
a Twilight Zone situation where he's somehow robbed of his ability to read all of these books.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
literally
this-
my worst nightmare. The idea of oh, I'm all alone, but now there's time to read. Because that would be my thought. I finally play PlayStation and beat these games. Let's do it. And then, the only way to see breaks, that's not cute. I'm alone with my isolated thoughts, and Penny cannot be alone with his isolated thoughts. It's not going to end well.
I like Orlando in the chat says he needs time to research how to break his contract.
Right.
We've learned that
very true.
contracts
Very
can be
true.
broken
Yes.
in this episode.
Yeah.
We've been
True.
introduced to that idea.
And TLOT20 says, I feel Hades was giving him hints. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so curious. I like his sacrifice. So when he gives Sylvia the Metro card,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, but I feel that's a good growing of his character.
Of course.
Finally,
Yeah.
Penny, come on. And joins book clubs. Kathy, Howard, and
When he subs Kathy, someone in the chat mentioned how he subs Kathy, and she's so excited.
I'd always imagined.
and I'm like, are you reading his book?
Here's the other thing, too. For Penny's book to not be over, Penny, think. Think about it.
Right.
You are still vital to the mission. You need to do something here. And that's the thing, too. I like that this show is so you're on a quest. Put 2 and 2 together. Be thinking.
Yeah. So, and then also, side note, real quick. Speaking of groups and having fun. So, do you guys want to have fun, learn, and grow in all areas of your life? For those of you, we have a podcast just for you.
Ooh.
Conversation with Maria Menounos podcast edition is hosted by our AfterBuzz TV founder Maria Menounos and drops every Friday on iTunes. So just a couple days from now. Conversations with Maria Menounos features celebrity and influencer interviews along with secrets and tips on how to be better in all aspects of life, from health and wellness to career and relationships, finances, and more. Let our Maria be the big sister you never had. Just go to iTunes and subscribe to Conversations with Maria Menounos for free. Be sure to rate and comment, and when you do, let Maria know it was us who sent you there. So, magicians, that's how you got there. Conversations with Maria Menounos, podcast edition, check it out. Julia. Yes, back to Julia. Her and Sky. I feel so bad for Sky.
Oh, poor Sky.
She's like, the other fairy don't believe me. And then, yes, we have the Irene. She's bringing the family together with their other fae. Who do we think she was on the phone with that wanted a shipment, essentially? I'm like, her drugs, her fairy drugs.
I mean, honestly, anybody who once had magic and doesn't now, the clientele is booming for this industry.
Yeah.
Even just a taste of it.
Yeah, it could be just not even anyone really important, just something to drive home the fact that she's a fucking slave trader at this point.
Yeah. Which makes me, like, I'm excited that most of her family was slaughtered because I think she was going to try to use break bills as her main point of sale.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think, like, she bought the space, only magicians know how to get there in the first place. Even though its guards are probably no longer up. It's still kind of secluded, so I was really worried that we were going to see break bills turn into like a slave trade post, and I was like, I don't need that in my life.
And good point. Nicholas points out the library has the suitcase of fairy dust, though they took some, so that's creepy. The library hasn't.
Right.
We kind of talked about a little bit, but
Sorry, I just always remember that it came from Alexandria, and I'm like, when do we get our flashback to Alexandria? I want it.
Oh, right.
A little bit. We touched on it a little bit, but Julia, when she's with the Fairy Queen, I like the quote too. Short memory is the privilege of the oppressor. It's like, because she's like, humans had hunted this fairy, which kind of makes you feel bad for them. Which we before were like, oh yeah, you guys kind of had a shitty history there, huh? Because like we didn't know, but that's one of those same thing of like you humans don't know. So
right, yeah.
Yes.
Never bothered to find out.
Oh, that too. Yeah, totally. And then we were also talking about how Fen like kind of stands up to her, and I like that moment because I'm like, it's queen to queen. Like, come on, go save your people and family, because that's the thing that Fen is really into. Of like, it's family. Like later when she confronts Dust with the dagger, it's like, how could you do that to your own people? Right. Well, she's very into that too. Then she gets the quick turnaround, and then how much do we like that Queen's speech to the Fae of like, all right, guys, like we are divine. Oh, I didn't write what it was.
As great as the speech was, it's the moment after where she's like, and applause comes here. You guys are not, no, you're really broken. Because I think the natural inclination as a writer is to be like, and then we're like all inspired and very excited, but we've been enslaved for 400 years, so it's going to take more than your fancy words and a new person to make us believe in this kind of change.
Exactly, yeah. Everyone's pretty wary of like attempts at a mutiny.
Right. We've seen what they can do. They've already started harvesting our body parts, so what faith and hope do you actually have? And then that moment when they drop the total bomb, which is like, no, this is a fairy promise. And the queen is like, I can't get this necklace off. The hell is we doing?
They're like, oh, crap. So how many of you out there and you guys, I knew it was decapitation.
Oh, yeah. We
how
called
to get the necklace off.
The minute he was like, I have a machine for that, I was like, it's not good. Yeah. Like, that, to me, if you need a machine to get something off, like, it's bad. This is not, these are not, like, wire cutters or, like, pipe things. Like, no, you beheading. Oh, my God. Y'all just don't care at all, do you?
I thought it was going to go a little bit differently. Like, I thought it was a thing that essentially took the necklace and made it rip it through you.
Oh, you thought it'd be like more violence?
So like it removed it, but like literally like shit.
Like it was like
it's like
watch too many horror movies and battle royale stuff.
I was gonna say battle royale.
It's very battle royale, except for blowing up. Yeah. Trent, and it says the library probably has slaves of their own. They have contracts to buy.
But we have people who've made deals with fairies go to the library, right? I don't think the library is enslaving fairies.
Has their own fairies?
Because the suitcase comes from Alexandria. For a long time ago, they had created the battery in case something happened to magic. We now know magic frequently goes in and out, so it makes sense that perhaps they suffered an outage and were like, never again.
Yeah.
Oh, Nehemiah says, what about Irene being on the phone with the library?
Oh.
Because she just ran out of a supply, remember?
Sure.
But we've never seen anyone in the library use a phone, have we? Because they can pop in
but
and
it's
out.
not
I mean,
impossible.
it's an interesting point to make.
I don't think that they need phones though. Like just if based on the structure of how
Like
they
how
work.
how could Irene theoretically contact the library with a telephone?
Yeah, I mean, and they're transported.
Unless
it's like
they just pop in and out of a place. It's
magic
just
phone.
nothing.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
Oh,
that's
Nicholas
fair.
said I thought the Alexandria was a fake story created by the library.
Very well could be.
I'll be super disappointed because I was really excited about the idea of like ancient Egyptians like hunting fairies to make a battery that then gets used like millennia later. But maybe it was a story.
Yeah. It's a good question. We have, I'm like, was there more with Julia? Oh, yeah. Then we have Julia and the Fairy Queen. And then, yeah, the consequences to broken deals, which I'm like, dude, come on. If you break this one, who's around that's going to tattle that y'all broke a deal?
Right.
It's magic. Magic has its own set of rules, man.
Yeah.
And the idea that, like she says, we'll lose the will of the people, but perhaps it's something beyond that. Perhaps it's more than just the people knowing. I like that the way to break it is like through blood magic, essentially, and
Yes.
writing something
so
that to my very untrained, uneducated, ignorant eyes looked like a Chinese symbol on the wall.
interesting.
I have no idea what it was really. I'm sure it wasn't actually Chinese, but the idea of like a very angular symbol to kind of break their bonds. And then it was they were like, oh no, it's just broken. There's nothing you can do about it.
Boom.
Yeah, no, we're gone. You can't see us. And now we're going to gouge your eyes, like eyes out, like we promised.
And it was interesting, too. It was specifically the oppressors, too, and that Julia and Fen were still able to see them, too, afterwards. So it's like you're selective on who you're breaking the deals with. But I guess Fen's deal is different, but then Julia's is another thing, too. So.
Oh, Ryoko in the chat says Irene lived, so she will tattle. Which is... Ooh, hiccups is absolutely could be a problem.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true. Yeah, magic consequences about Nicholas. Yeah. That's true. Oh, yeah. So then we have kind of Julia is a little bit before that, though. Julia talking with the Fairy Queen. Julia's kind of a little peacemaker. Like, hey,
Right.
can we all be friends later?
Right, yeah, exactly.
Like, it's possible, right? Where I think she genuinely means it. I'm doing that with a very sarcastic voice. But I think she genuinely means, like, yeah, like, to work something out. And it's one of those, I think it would take a long time, but it's a good point. Like, why can't you just be allied nations or whatnot?
Right.
And then how the Queen points out that Julia has been the first person to want to help with no personal gain. And by the way, we have the key in our kingdom, but we can't give it to you.
Yeah, BT Dub. Sorry. Sorry,
They
Laura.
shared a lot of
Yeah.
like understanding of why the fairies came at humans like this. They're like, first of all, Fillory ain't even yours. Y'all just come in here, ruling stuff like crazy folk.
Yep.
And now that you don't have magic, it's a perfect time to attack. You guys should not be here. You can't be trusted. You nearly hunted us to extinction. Like, it tints this whole season in an entirely different way.
Right,
and it makes
exactly.
the betrayal and the carriage a lot more understandable as well. Like the idea of her feeding them to their own people is so much more poetically just once you know where she comes from and what her backstory is. It's like, God, I really want the fairies to come out on top now. Like, can we build them another world that's just theirs? Like, you all just go be by yourselves. Like, you don't even need people.
Right.
The other people we didn't really get to yet, we have Margot, Elliot, Alice, and Josh when they're in Fillory first and they're talking about the next key. And oh crap, Fillory is at war with the Lorians and the Floaters. Which that's just like, no.
The floaters are a bunch of mommy-loving wusses, and I hope we take them out
and she
so
checked
fast.
his junk. I was like,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
yes, I'm his mother. Oh.
Yeah. Had
Yeah.
to know.
Ew.
Yeah.
Also, my son hasn't had his nail polished. Woman, stop. Stop it. You're
The marvel.
gross.
The marvel polish.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
She just
Did
keeps
she say
pimping out her
marbles?
kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it small, too? Like, I
was sad that King, I was aware.
Idri?
Yes, was so quick to be like, Elliot, well, you're not king anymore. We're done. I'm like,
No,
Right.
I totally
Come
understood that. To
on.
me, like, look, bro,
Yeah.
I'm a king, so I can have sex with whomever.
That's
I'm
true.
not worried about that. I could even
Yeah.
love you, but as a king, it's my responsibility to marry not for love, but for business arrangements. You used to be the highest person in the land.
That's true.
Now you're kind of not nobody.
Yeah.
So I didn't blame him even for a second. And to be honest, then Elliot flipped that script so fast. He was like, "Two can play this game, son."
Yes.
Like, he was not phased at all, really.
No, he's like, no, I'm not trying to deceive you and everything. Like, can we have a little fun here? I was like, I was happy. I was like, yay, they're together,
but it
sort
was
of.
still deceiving him Because
Yeah.
do you really think he's going to give his people back? Like, we don't know you're going to have that power.
Well,
Right.
that was the other thing too. So we talked about it last week of like Elliot and Margot coming in, these people from the outside, giving rulership, sure, of it. But now it seems like they're like, no, we chose this, and they want to make things better, and they want to end the war.
Look, if I fought this hard for anything, I'm keeping it. Like,
That's
the
true,
stuff
too.
they have been
Yes.
through. Margot squished her own eye. It completely makes sense to me that they're like, we got this. Totally. This is our kingdom.
Yes.
We ruled it. Every week, I feel like they're more and more the rightful rulers
Yeah.
of the nation, too, which is kind of exciting to
They're
watch
working
them
hard
grow
for
in their
it.
power. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're not just like casual about it. They're not like, yeah, whatever.
They almost went overboard on the ship last week.
Oh man.
But then Bowie saved them. So
Yes.
Of course.
Yes,
Oh,
they're
God, I
flying
love this
ship,
show.
and Josh is like, I'm gonna fly in ship. Where was that too? Oh yeah, so I hope they figure that out quickly, and I don't know what they're really bargaining with the magic. There we go. That's the thing. Was there anything else with Elliot and Margot? I think they didn't have a lot in this episode.
I mean, Elliot had his like that scene with him and Idri, like that was that
Nice,
like I
sexy
love
scene.
that dynamic between the two of them, where they're threatening each other, but also kind of like
Still flirting.
yeah,
The best
It's hot.
relationships
That's
are
pretty
a
awesome.
mix of like non-lethal threatening and flirting.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Nehemiah says the floating mountain queen will marry her son off to anyone with title to their name. Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, really, at this point,
Honestly,
Yeah.
I really hope she just dies, but I have a feeling she's
I
going to
don't-
be one of those annoying characters that's constantly
gonna
around,
stick
just
around.
causing commotion.
Well, at least we
and
didn't see
trouble.
her son, which he's even worse.
I had to kill my
Unlike
brother.
Margot, it's like, ugh.
Also, as a mother, how can you love your son when he killed your other son?
Yeah.
Like, we had a deal made. Margot was
Yeah.
down for this, and you
Yeah.
screwed it up.
She's like, that's fine. That's how it works. What? Then we kind of we follow up with Alice, Q, and Josh, and they're on the roof trying to line up these lights. And
yeah.
I missed Josh
me too.
so damn much. He is so great in this role of, like, third wheel.
Right,
I was just
exactly.
be like, guys, but the mission, like, we've
And-
seen some mirrors. We'll bang this out.
Right,
Yeah.
and poor guy, I didn't even realize that he didn't know about Victoria until this episode either.
yeah, he's like, so Victoria, what happened to her? And they're like,
About that,
She got stuck between the mirrors.
yeah.
you know how that happens.
Yeah. And then he has the thing, he's like, yeah, this is a metaphor for your guys' relationship and things not lining up right. And you're just like, go Josh. So much real talk in this episode of people calling each other out. It's fantastic.
So good.
But then we also get the confrontation, and we get the question answered essentially, which it's one of those, Q asks Alice, are you working for the library? Yes.
Yeah, but right.
Also, to what extent do you work for the library?
Yes.
Is that a copy of you downstairs? Who was that? Is that you in a couple of years and you're in some kind of weird time loop?
Yes,
I have
that
so
was-
many questions.
And do we trust the library? Because she's like, yeah, library wants magic back too. And I'm like,
I don't trust any organization that keeps this many secrets.
yeah.
I just don't. Inherently, if you have this much to keep from people, this much knowledge to keep away from people, I have a feeling you're up to something you shouldn't be up to. And the fact that they're like, oh no, they really want magic back too. But why? Why do they
That's
want
true.
it back?
They seem
And why
to
do they
function
want to
just fine without it.
One, yes, absolutely. Two, you have store of battery. Three,
Yeah.
like, you refuse to tell anybody anything. So maybe the library's up to good.
Yep.
I love libraries in general. Like, I would really
Yeah.
like it if it was a place of good and like quality, but you can't read your own book, which I think is bull. I
then
know
the
they
thing
said
is-
they had problems, but,
No,
I
but
want to
also-
know.
But in knowing something, wouldn't that essentially alter it though too? Because either you're going to try to do it, which might change
try
it.
to
It would be
avoid
very
it.
Macbethian, or you would try to avoid it, and that would make something else happen.
Every guy that approaches you, I've already read the story. It doesn't end well. Keep it
Don't
moving,
bother.
sir. I don't want any of it.
It'd save you some time. Also, yeah, Zara Nicholas says DTA, don't trust anyone. Right? It is true.
as Steve Austin would say.
Yeah, it's like, I want to trust that the library has good intentions, but I'm super suspicious. It's like they don't have a good track record.
No.
Someone in the chat pointing out a good point, too. They appreciate how Josh had weed stashed everywhere. All
Of course, when he was substitute hiking.
And then he made a good point, though. He's like, this is super stressful. I need this. It's like,
yeah, exactly. That's fair.
Josh had just left like a world of partying designed specifically to his taste. This has got to be just a real jerker.
Yeah. Was there anything else with any of these characters we didn't get to that you want to talk about?
We talked about the cupcake. We talked about Josh and them. They didn't get the key. How did that story end? We literally just watched the show. So late, guys.
Well, Julia finds out that there's a key in the fairy realm, though a couple people are speculating in the chat room that technically the key that they're trying to get in the throne room is the fairy realm one. So it is there, but it's in the fairy realm, like mirror version of that.
Of like projector paper over it.
So it's there, but not really there. So I really like your guys' theory on that. That's a good point that I'm like, ooh. So it is there, but not really.
Okay, all right. So they just figured out like the key's there, but they haven't done the thing to get it.
Two different groups though, because Alice Q and Josh are looking for the key, and Josh goes, "I know where it is." Also, he only seemed to know where it was after he got high, or he started smoking, so that could be something to it. And then Julia is the only one who heard from the Fairy Queen that there's a key in the fairy realm. So is it the same key? Possibly, but they might be the two last keys.
But why? I was confused because
we only have 3 episodes left.
The key when the lights crossed.
Really? Yeah, we're on episode 10 and there's 13.
Holy crap!
So.
Yeah, because they said they could only find the key when the lights crossed, but they were not able to make them cross. Or okay, all right, cool.
Yeah,
I got lost in that whole story.
They were setting up the mirrors for the moon and everything. Very like
the two half moons.
Temple and like Indiana Jonesy of like stuff. But yeah, it ends before Josh is able to explain, like, I know where it is, and then it was like, and cut. Also,
it's bullshit that Irene got away. I'm sorry.
That's not bullshit because they're saving an epic death scene. Are you kidding?
I'm ready for her death. Now I thought we were going to get like a Goosebumps, Beetlejuice. I thought we were going to get a Beetlejuice moment because we have this whole like dinner table set up and everybody's
super
there.
bloody
massacre.
massacre.
What we get is going to be so much more satisfying.
You
have to wait until Christmas morning to open your presents.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll be patient.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they're saving her for a better death. A more
it's gonna be a
severe
rough one.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really seen anyone in a while that's deserved that sort of
It's true.
You know?
It's true.
So many people punished for things they had no control over.
Right.
Yeah.
Were involved
One of those whoops.
And now, this bitch.
Well, I think that's true. Leo points out the Fairy Queen noticed that she had been God touched because she just does a little bit of magic. I think she just had to do anything, and that was fine to know that it was magic.
Right.
That was fine. Christian P says, I agree. It is complete BS. Irene got away. I was screaming. I was screaming at the screen. Yes. James, Fen should shank her. Fen could do that damage, maybe.
I would love to see Fen with the knives just go straight in.
Like a whole bunch of them.
The fairies all get a chance to stab her, and then it's like where does that happen? It's like Julius Caesar. Everyone gets a stab, but she gets the final one.
Actually, there's a super side note, but a stabbing thing. There's a YouTube web series called Sunny Family Cult, and they have a stabbing thing. It's actually a really good series.
Wait, what? What do you mean a stabbing thing? What are you talking about?
Well, it's like a cult, and they like stab someone with a bunch of people all doing it because they're
if
a
you
deserter.
Like stabbing, she's got the shows for you. I like Nicholas McMillan in the chat says pirates kind of deserved their fate, and that's true. But we didn't get to relish in their fate.
But I mean, like a big time like season-long villain.
Yeah.
Like
Irene's kind of been the behind the shadows villain.
Yeah, that we're only just kind of coming around to.
I'd be curious. Star Nicholas says Twitter went red wedding in comparison.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, kind of.
I mean, like on a much like kind of smaller scale.
I was like, they're all gonna die.
Red wedding is too far for this. Look, we lost 5 people in that.
No, but that's people you cared about too. This, you're like, I want them all to die.
For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Like you're happy.
Well, and also, like, we weren't connected to them emotionally.
Oh, yeah. We're just like, who are these people?
Right.
We kind of see Yeah, I know, right? You have to watch the series. Christian's like, yeah, that's just casual. Yeah, I know. It's so Sunny Family Cult. It's by Crypt TV. You can watch season 1 on YouTube. I'm on another show called Horror Movie News, and we interviewed an actor from it yesterday.
Amazing.
So anyway, it's a fun, weird little show. We kind of know a little bit for what's next week with prediction for what to predict, but let's do some predictions. Because it shows you a little bit, you know.
Your AfterBuzz TV.
I'll take this chance to tell you
Yes.
that I did not see the
Oh,
next
good.
the next
Nice.
next
There was
on
a thing.
segment.
She jumped away from the table.
Oh boy.
Yes.
Someone's back.
Oh,
and it's
shit.
Someone we
not
thought was
good.
dead.
Oh shit.
And it
Okay.
involves butterfly
They
moths.
said wrong,
Oh. Okay.
wrong place. Or wait,
course.
Wrong timeline.
No, right place, wrong timeline.
Oh boy.
Yes.
So
Jesus.
we are going into different timelines, which
like,
also
no!
means our girl's probably back too.
Yeah.
Because we saw her, what,
Wait, which girl?
4 episodes ago? The chick who started it all.
Jane Chatwin?
Jane, yes.
Oh, yeah, Jane could still
we
be
saw
around.
Jane
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
episodes ago when Q
Yeah.
and Elliot were in love and doing their thing. She kind of shows up. They give her the final piece, that
Maybe.
thing, so that she can go launch her thing.
Yeah.
So it would be great if Jane could come back and kick his ass.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Jane should get a stab. Everyone needs a stab in the near future. is what
Everyone
I'm
get a
saying.
hand on this ball.
There was an earlier comment. Somebody suggested that, Ryoko said, yeah, no, if you guys didn't see the preview for next time, semi-spoilers, because it was in the preview for next time. Yeah. We'll just say there's butterfly moth things. Ryoko said a suggestion that maybe Sky will give Fen a fairy baby to make up for her baby that was lost.
They
Which I was
do
like,
grow
oh.
babies in the ground, so there's less of that mother attachment. She's not like stealing someone else's
But she was
baby.
ready to take care of the Finn.
No, what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like,
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
think
no,
she would
it's
want to
not gonna-
replicate what happened to her.
Yeah.
You know, so the idea that because they're grown more like vegetables.
Oh,
as
she's
opposed
not
to
taking it
beings.
from someone. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Good point. I'm excited about the alternate timelines. There are some gnarly effects looking things. Like it looked like somebody's face was all effed up, and I was like, what? Did you have any specific predictions?
Predictions for next week. Hopefully we see whatever the consequences or the beginning of the consequences of the fairies goes. What's been really interesting to me as we get through these quests are the lessons we've kind of learned.
Yep.
Josh learns he can't party all the time, that he
Yeah.
has to come down to the real world. Elliot and Q on their adventure kind of learn that like life is long but also short, and that working together, and then also sometimes things just happen because they would never have found the last piece if he wasn't digging for his grave.
Yeah.
We've got Elliot and Margot are like really stepping into their royal roles in a way that they hadn't before.
Yeah.
And because of the way the keys have pushed them, they've had to look outside beyond just their castle to the actual people that are involved within the kingdom. So, knowing what we know about the fairy key, it'll be interesting to see, especially because now we kind of get the idea that maybe the 7 keys don't unlock magic.
Yeah, maybe it's more just about the quest of giving them the stuff they get from participating.
Well,
But
yeah.
wasn't that the thing early on? Q's like, so-and-so becomes who they are. Like, he wants to be that person who's worthy of a quest because he's doing the quest. It was something he said, like, way back
Yeah,
when.
you become
Right.
worthy of the
Yeah.
quest by continuing to do the quest.
Oh,
In the same way
right.
that you become a master of your craft by doing the craft.
Sorry, I'm reading someone's chat thing. I'm like, thank you. Someone in the chat pointed out it was Frey. Yeah, I'm like, I forgot her name.
Yes.
Do we think she could come back?
I was wondering about that.
Frey's gotta come back at some point. Like,
feel
the
she
show
could come
doesn't
back.
usually drop people as we've seen, like
Sure.
even with Howard this week,
Yeah.
where you're just like,
You're
where the
back.
hell did
Howard?
this guy come from?
You?
Yeah.
So I don't know if she'll be back in this season or in what capacity she'll come back, but I'm sure Frey will be back.
I want to know how they're able to fix it if they are on the wrong timeline. Like, if they're meeting their other selves. Because also we had a thing when Q met a different Alice, and they're like, you can't touch.
I mean,
that's
if you
right.
So, I
never
wonder-
kill a god, then maybe you never have to worry about magic being turned off.
Right? So I'm curious how they can interact with their other selves, because there's, or maybe you have to interact with somebody else, because it's we see Josh going to somebody for help in a nice little Star Wars reference, and he's like, so and so, you're our only hope, or something like that, and it's like, you have to help.
But it was Josh talking to Josh.
Okay. I couldn't remember who he talked to.
Yeah, it was Josh talking to Josh and one
I thought
other
he was
person.
talking to 2 people. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Christian P in the chat says, I hope we get to see a version of Alice that hasn't been corrupted.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
That'd be nice.
I would love for Angry Alice to meet original Alice and both of them be like, what?
Yes.
I just recently started rewatching the show from the beginning
Nice.
with my
Yeah.
girlfriend who hadn't seen it, and like I had forgotten, like, oh, like there's a pure, like innocent Alice
She's all
before
sweet.
all that
She just
shit
makes
happened.
crystal
She just makes
unicorns
little crystal
and wants to be as good
unicorns.
at magic as her brother.
Yeah.
Simpler times.
Leo, maybe they're going to take the alternative timeline key.
Oh, could be.
Oh,
Sure.
I like that
Sure.
thought. That's great. I think that wraps us up for predictions.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on the episode?
Great episode. Huge improvements off of last week,
Graphic.
guys.
A graphic episode.
So
Yes.
good.
Haven't
Looking
seen
forward to the
deaths
last
like that in a
3.
while.
Yeah. And thank you and shout out to Rizwan Manji who joined us last week for the episode when Tick did his sudden and inevitable betrayal.
What?
Or,
Chris, you're such a different
Also, I like that he's burning the place to the ground already. We didn't talk about that, but the fact that he's
oh yeah,
on
they're
the
like he's
throne-
somewhere else. Yeah.
Well, he's on the throne and like
Yeah.
already like 2 wars going
Yep.
to chaos. So, I don't know.
Yes.
so good.
Yeah. So we have 3 more to go, which is crazy.
Man, how quickly the season
I know,
went
this
by.
one's gone by really fast. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Joining us in the live chat. And again, if you're watching this later, please comment down below your thoughts on the episode. And where can everybody find y'all?
Y'all can find me on all forms of social media at Ty Matthews PMA. That's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's PlayStation Network if you want to come play Overwatch with me, all that good stuff.
All the things. I'm Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique, every week at blackgirlnerds.com. Tomorrow, guys, come watch us on Atlanta. Atlanta's like my favorite show. We have
It's
a
so
really
good.
dope panel. So definitely check that out. And then also, if you're here earlier in the day, on these days, you can see me over at Black Lightning.
Nice. My name is Kari Lane. You can find me online at Kari D Lane. That's K-A-R. I can't talk. I'm doing
Oh,
too
boy.
fast. K-A-R-I-D-L-A-N-E. Yeah, no, my show. So Sundays at 9 is Box Office Breakdown. We talk about what movies came out over the weekend. 10 p.m. is Star Trek. Discovery's done, but we're talking about other stuff. Last week we talked about the Mirror Universe. And then on Mondays is Marvel TV News. Check out my social media. I did a cool Laura Croft cosplay for the movie.
She sure did.
Thank you. So cool. And then Tuesday is horror movie news, as well as AfterBuzz anime reviews. We're talking about Be the Beginning, the new Netflix anime. Also started today is Timeless. So if you're a Timeless fan, that's also on
Jesus.
Wednesdays.
Are you starting
And then
new
the show-
shows?
Yeah, just
Are you
started.
kidding?
Oh, and
Do you have
then,
a cot
and then-
below this table?
And The Expanse is coming up soon, and Legion, Handmaid's Tale, and Westworld, and I think American Gods, like, in the next few months or something. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, everybody. We'll see you all next week. See ya!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.